Hello, welcome to the final word. Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 2. The final game of 2024 ended in defeat. Ended with no goals, which is, you should have expected that. It's 7 of the last 9 without a goal. But a disappointing result. They're doing well this season, up to second now with that victory. But John, still overall a very disappointing afternoon at Goodison Park.
What's this called? Final word? Yeah?
That's what it's called, John.
Out. That's the final word.
Okay.
Manager, out.
Okay.
That's my final word on the matter. There you go.
I'll come back to you for other bits in a minute, but fair play. I mean, Ped, going into this one, we knew...
I'm sorry, I know you don't sit on the fence, but I am, right, in this.
We know sort of what was going to be expected, what Forest have been really good at this season. We talked about it in the preview of it being a tricky game for both teams because neither team really wants the ball. But even that being said, it was still a curious game plan that Everton had or set up or whatever.
I wasn't on the match preview, so I didn't say those things.
No.
I don't think it was a tricky. I don't think it was a tricky game for them. I think they approached it because they know exactly what they're doing and they've got it down to a T. And you can see the confidence flowing. Every man knows his job. It means you end up scoring goals like they did. For them, they're brilliant goals. The first one's brilliant, even though we'll look at it in a minute. But Taki's like, I don't know where Taki is. Yeah. And the second goal, just the turn by Gibbs White and everything, it's a lovely goal. The confidence is there. So for them, I don't think it was that tricky. That, in fact, for us, yeah, because we're like, we don't want this yellow thing that rolls. So, and we fell into that. We fell into their plan, not the other way around. And I can't understand that. We're the own team. We can sort of dictate how we want to play. And we're against Arsenal away and against City away, we've done that. And against Chelsea at home, we've done that. And for some reason, I have no idea why we've decided we were going to take the initiative. And I don't know why you do that to a team that's flying as high as they are. And you know what their strength is, which is playing counter-attack of football.
We took the initiative by just banging the ball long. I mean, John, the team, before the game, obviously the manager changed. Well, we knew Seamus Coleman was missing the other day. He was injured. Had a really good performance at City, but got injured. And that's, sadly, for a fella we loved so much, that's sort of where it is now. It's
catching up with him.
Yeah. And Ashley Young come back in. No problem with that. We sort of knew that was going to happen. Although, personally, I'd have probably 3 minutes left back and put Patterson in, but there you go.
Yeah. Because you'd watch my starting 11.
I think if you look at the preview, me and Mike talked about that. But Armando Broja coming up front for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What did you make of that? Because obviously Dom's not on a great run. We've seen what his partners made of it after the game with their Instagram post. What did you make of that? Obviously taking Dom out the side.
Dom hasn't justified a start for quite a while. And you could almost give the manager a little bit of credit and say, until he had an alternative, there wasn't a lot he could do. As soon as he had the alternative, he took it. But certainly, he lasted 75 minutes, didn't he?
He done.
But I mean, the tactical play associated was, it's a different player. The guy better on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice way of saying he's not as good in the air, sort of thing. But the Route 1 stuff, putting stuff, just launching it, it's just awful. And I'm, to a degree, I'm with Ped, by the way, around style of play, and it was a straightforward game for Nottingham Forest, I think, because they've got an established structure and they play to it. But I did predict in the week to my mates, he'll tell us to go out and play the way we did against bloody Tottenham, And the implication from his post-match, where the players did the opposite of what he asked, he wanted a high press, high intensity, all that sort of stuff. Why? That's not when we're at our best, is it? We've just come off.
We play.
What?
I don't know when we're at our best.
Not the way we play.
Yeah, that's right.
Not with the style.
But we've just come off results with a similar style to theirs, without the pace and a little bit of guile that they got in, Morgan White and stuff like that. But they play very similar to us. In the sense of low block type stuff, break us down if you can. They score first more often than anyone else in the Premier League. Therefore, they counter off that. And we were most to their game, really. And to me, I honest to God do not know what the manager send them out to play like, you know, for a style, tactics, whatever. But I do know, I don't believe a word of it that the players did the opposite.
Well, that's
I just don't believe it.
That's like the key thing, isn't it? They play to win, to score the first goal.
Yes.
And then you looked
then
at
they
them.
choke it up.
There was a moment yesterday when I think we were attacking, and they just attacked, and they had 7 or 8 men behind the ball, and it was so quick. And we often talk about how many plays you need to risk going forward. They were only risking 4, and then everyone else was getting back and making like 6 at the back of the line and saying break us down. And they've obviously decided they're going to start in games quite fast, try and get that first goal, and then soak it up. And it's like, when you watch us, the way we start games so slowly, it's like that's another thing. It's like, surely if you can get the first goal, his favourite goals, it's been 1-0, hasn't it? And it's like, why? There's another thing that they're doing well and we're not. And again, it's not coming down to better players. They have got better players and quicker players in the final third.
Yeah.
No, they have. I mean, let's get it right.
They have, yeah.
But they are being told to play in a certain way, be it slightly more adventurous. And if we had 25% of that, we'd be winning more games. And it's not about saying, people go, Forest are a good side. They're doing really well. Second in the table now. But if we did 25% better, we'd be 10th in the table. And that's all we saw. That would be great for us at the moment. We don't want to be, no one's, I see this thing and I can't like get my head around it when people go, this is rubbish, this team's rubbish. It's like, yeah, but no one's saying we should be top 6. If Everton were 4 points better off, I'd feel 100% better. I'd think we're all right. We'll be fine this season. And all it would take is 4 more points to make me feel like that.
Forest got closer to getting relegated last season than we did.
17th.
Okay, they got closer. They've already got enough points to be guaranteed they're not going to get
more points now than they had all the last season.
They've already got points that are guaranteed they're not going to get relegated. Okay, and people sat around me with my team. We were talking pre-match and when the teams come up, and anyone watching this, particularly if you're in the camp of the manager's doing the best he can with a really bad hand, so to speak. I don't subscribe to that, but some people do.
Some people
right? Go down that starting 11 of Forest and pick out which ones you are absolutely certain would start for Everton. Forget whether Dyche is the manager, just like you as the manager would pick. And I think you get 1 or 2, maybe 3 on the outside. I don't know. So he's nailing it. Here's a team, player for player, who in theory aren't as good as us, in theory, but they're playing with confidence, which makes a massive difference as well. They're playing a group without confidence, which makes a massive difference as well. One team knows exactly what's expected of them, knows exactly how they're going to play. The manager, for crying out loud, when he gets 2-0 up, just puts on every defender he can find and says, this will do, we're having this, they're not going to break us down. And the other manager takes 7 minutes when you're 2-0 down to decide what to do, another 7 minutes to make another substitution, and nothing changes really, other than Patterson makes him look like a dick by looking the best player almost straight away.
Yeah,
it's madness.
I think when I was saying it's tricky for before the game, Forest fans said this on our preview, but it's a tricky one because we don't want the ball. So we hope you don't like.
Oh, we took 60% of it. Yeah.
They will look and go. Their probably biggest fear was Everton did what they did against Man City.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
But we didn't. We went the other way and we'll have the ball. But it's no point having the ball if all you do is just launch it. Now, the odd time we did play some nice little patterns, we proved, when Jai does really well early on, skips past 2 or 3, but, more often than not, his end product's not there, and the shot ends up in the back row of the park end instead of just steadying himself and just guiding it on target. But his biggest problem is he's great at skipping past 2 or 3. No one makes a run.
No one's there.
No one moves off the ball to give him the space to attack. So he might go past 2, but then he runs into traffic because our players stand and watch.
Yeah, Bro just found out after one start he has to go and get the ball his bloody self.
Well, yeah, our best sort of attempt in the first half was him picking the ball up on the halfway and bouncing past 3, laying it out to Mikalenko and running into the box and meeting the cross. Yeah. When you look at it and go, you can tell. When I look at it, it's plain as day. We are coached about shape and defending. Ironically, we'll look at the goal in a minute that you wouldn't think we were, but we are. That's where our strength is with this coaching staff. We're not coached whatsoever in the final third. everything is off the cuff because there's no patterns in the final third, none at all. And this team, Forest, I looked at them yesterday and they're doing brilliantly, and it's great to see that a team that finished near the bottom last season, you know, and have gone, we're going for it. Never once said Nuno Espirito Santo ever but a relegation fight, ever. They started the season fresh, like he said. They made the change February last season. A lot of people were like, why are they sacking what's his name, Steve Cooper? Why are they getting rid of him? He's doing all right.
Being sacked against
They had a lot on the but they looked and went, no, we're looking at the bigger picture. We want to build. And so we had the end of the season to bed in, and they started. And he organised his team. They've got pace in Alanga, and they've got Hudson, although he wasn't there yesterday. And they have Gibbs White off Chris Wood, and that's it. The rest of them you can piece in and go. They didn't even have Murillo yesterday, did they?
Got injured in the warm-up.
You know, got injured in the warm-up. He's excellent. He wasn't there. And it looked like the other three had played.
The fellow who replaced him, making his first start, should have scored.
No, exactly. But you look at them and go, well, that's just a team that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Manager's not afraid to drop it in. Organised. I look at them yesterday, and again, I'm not being disrespectful to them because I think they've been great this season, but I looked and thought, this is not like you look and go, these are miles better than us, because they're not. They're quick. Alanga's very quick, and ironically, Alanga turned Everton down because he didn't want to play for the manager. He wanted to play in a progressive style, which was Cooper. I'm not sure how he'd have felt if it was Spirito Santo at the time, but he's enjoying it. Yeah. But you look at them and they know, like Ped said, they know what they're doing. And confidence, and that is huge. Like you said, John, that's huge when you're playing well. But I look at us and go, that could be us, a version of that. We've got a lot of, this manager's got more options in the final third. Whether you believe they're good enough or you don't, this manager's got more options in the final third than the past four managers have had, as in numbers.
Certainly centre forward, he's got like 4 times as much choice.
Exactly, Ancelotti. But if you look at it, you've got Njai, Beto, Dom, Breuer, Lindstrom, Harrison. McNeil's not fit, granted, he's not there. But there's 6 you can play in the front 3.
He's got choice.
We've got choices and we do similar thing. So why not play a slightly different way yesterday? Why? We've put Breuer in, who's different to Dom. Not as dominant in the air, but better at taking it and running it. Why not play in a different manner? Ped said it before, when they attacked with 4 and they had the insurance. Well, Sean Dyche could still do that. He could still make sure. I've said it many times, and I've said it because I've looked at lots of data on it. Teams who counter-attack very rarely counter-attack with more than 4 players.
You've got a speech here. Go on, say it again.
Very rarely,
right.
and they did yesterday. You can still have 6. The insurance is 6. You're not getting over 4 v 6. You're not getting overrun anywhere on the pitch. But we don't. We have Breuer isolated on his own.
So, how many times have I said this? It does not matter who plays up front.
No.
You can have a go at Dom all you want. You can have a go at Beto all you want. You can have a go at whatever. It does not matter who plays up front for this football team. I watched Chris Wood yesterday, and every time he won an header, they had someone. They had somebody around them.
They had
all the time. And that's their plan. We have a plan that doesn't work, and he sticks with it. And this is why I just can't have him. And this is why I just don't get people.
I'm chuffed you can see what the plan is.
Well, it's why I just don't get why people keep defending this fella when his plan just doesn't work. You go long, and even if Don wins it, or Brozier wins it, or whoever wins it, it goes to nobody. We had a break on yesterday, I can't remember, it was first half or second. We broke with 2 players, whilst the rest of the team stood and watched the break. There was another one, where we had 6 players around the box, and it was like a kids game where you couldn't go in the box. And I was like, someone go in the box, pull their back line back so other people can move in. Oh, I just can't have this fella any longer.
Like the match of the day, on shots stat, on target shots.
Oh, in 2024.
20 odd, or whatever it is, less than anyone else. 20 odd less goals as a consequence. Hey, guess what? There's a correlation between shots on target, and goals. But it's just mad.
To me, it's empowerment, though. It's a manager empowering your players, and I think that's what he's done, whether you like Nuno or don't like Nuno. Nuno looks like a fella who's empowered those players to say, you're good at this, Wood, you're fantastic at this. And he's empowered them and said, we're going to defend like crazy, we're going to be organised, but I'm going to let you go forward, because actually scoring goals and winning games is the only thing that matters. They could have drawn every game this season. They'd be in the same place as us, but they've gone for because they're so confident at the back. And this is the other thing I don't get about Dyche. If you're so confident about your back line,
press forward.
Why can't you let 3 or 4 go forward and have a prop? Yesterday was the first opportunity when we could have had a proper midfield 3. The Corey's not playing as an 8.
No.
I watched them, they were standing in a line. But the only problem was Harrison's at one end of it and then Jai's at the other end of it.
4-5-1.
You're playing with a 5 at home and you've isolated a lad who's not like Dom. And I just can't get my head around that. Why are you playing Brozier? Are you doing it for the crowd? Are you doing it because Dominic Calvert-Lewin should be playing up front if that's what you're going to do. There's no one can convince me otherwise. Nobody. You can't convince me.
You're playing one up.
If you're playing one up front on their own,
I'm not trying to convince you. I just know what I would do. I wouldn't have done.
You're knowing. Look, if you're going to play 4-5-1, no, come on.
There's a bridge here, right?
Hang on. No, listen.
I know what you're going to say.
If you're going to play 4-5-1 at home, right, and you're going to go long, are you playing Armando Brozier?
No,
but if you're playing 4-3-3, would you rather put?
But I'm also what I'm saying
on the left.
I also wouldn't play a striker that doesn't look like he's ever going to score.
But no one's going to score goals.
No, but I'm saying
nobody's going to score.
I've said this to you before. I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right? And you're right, everyone is struggling this, but I still don't continue to put a lad out for the sake of it, because I think he holds the ball up better. You've got to find solutions. No striker should go 5 games without a goal, then you're out the team. It's just the rule. It's the rule. You take him out and you freshen it up and you mix it like that. However, the caveat to that is, the way we play, and this manager doesn't do that, because he left them in for 5 months when he could have played with no one on the pitch and he wouldn't have scored a goal. He left them in regardless. No, but that's really the message in there for the rest of the squad.
Let me twist that.
Horrific.
Okay, well, let me turn that, because this will change your opinion. Right? No, it will though. You
try and change.
No, I'll change his opinion. If Chris Wood didn't score for 5 games in Forest, the way Forest play, do you think they'd drop Chris Wood?
I think a 1-year play.
Do you honestly?
Sorry if my Forest fans wasn't. I've just butchered his name.
So
the guy who came on.
So the guy who lets them play off him, and is the focal point who they all get round, and they're dependent on it. Do you honestly think they'd drop him?
If he was
just because he didn't score
Dominic Calvert-Lewin contributed to loads of goals and all that, to different things.
But that's what I'm saying. It's about how you play, isn't it? Because it's how you play. Dom wins the ball.
I'm the one that's saying.
I know. But Dom, I'm not sitting here advocating for Dom. What I'm saying is, it's pointless.
Yeah.
The whole thing is pointless.
Chris Wood wouldn't score goals.
It's just swapping. Ronaldo and fucking Messi wouldn't score goals in our team. You could put Ireland on our team, he wouldn't score goals.
Oh, definitely not.
You're swapping. You're swapping. You're not sorting out the problem. And he hasn't sorted it.
I agree with. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying there's runs where you have to take the striker out regardless of how good he is. You have to when you've got choices.
But if you say, or you implied, that this manager has a style of play, I think you're saying it's 4-5-1. Yeah,
that's what it looks
like.
So
that's DTL then, isn't it? That's what you're saying, isn't it?
But that's what I'm saying. But if
it's 4-3-3, which is probably the players we've got are more suited to,
you can mix it then.
You mix it.
Yeah, but what I don't like is he swaps the centre forward and it gives the illusion of change.
No, I know.
It's not change.
No.
It's like when he makes the subs and he goes like for like. It gives you that illusion that he's doing something different, and he's not.
I think that the issue is the big issue here, really, regardless of anything else, is it's a results business, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not winning games. It's easier to, and clubs, this happens throughout the world. Clubs make managerial changes if you don't win games with football.
That's right.
But that's just the way it is. The bottom 3.
Because you can't change 20-odd players.
Well, exactly. Only Ipswich have kept their manager in the bottom 4, haven't they?
Yeah.
3 of the other 4 have changed the managers, haven't they? Wolves, who were dead and buried, have changed the manager. He's come in and got 7 points out of 9 with the same players who looked hopeless. The same players now going to Spurs, getting a draw, could have won the game. Good wins against United, good win at Leicester. Now listen, they might drop back, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, clubs look at it and go, we aren't winning games. Everton have changed managers. Marco Silva lost 3 games on the run, and that Norwich game, people were baying for blood at home to Norwich that day when we got beat by them. And we were far more entertaining than we are now. Far, and in the same position, probably, or higher in the league.
Yeah.
And everyone's been dumbed down, or the standards have dropped, or whatever. It's a results game, so it doesn't matter. At some stage, you're gonna have to make that decision if Everton don't win games of football. And that's the problem. The problem when you're looking, you can look at a team and go, okay, this team's not very good. Me personally, this team's good enough between 11th and 14th. I've said it all season.
The team isn't very good.
No
the squad's
danger.
Better than the team.
Yeah, right. No danger at all of being relegated, this team.
Yeah.
With a more advanced manager, attacking manager. Because you have to go after teams. Right? I think if Sean Dyche stayed all season, Everton would go down? No, I don't. I think they'd stay up. I can't guarantee it, can I? Of course
Look at these players.
But the players' level...
having to do this for another half of the season.
The players' level, for me, tells me they'd comfortably stay up. Players' level. However, playing the way we are with this game plan, I'm not so sure. Because
that's why I'm asking.
We're at the halfway stage in the season, bar one game. We've won 3.
But Baz, if the manager stays, and if the Free King group, presumably being advised or guided by Kevin Thelwell, the man on the ground, if you will, are thinking... like you're thinking, which is Premier League survival will do. Let's save the money. Let's get to the end of the season, or as soon as we're safe, change the manager then, get ready for the next season, blah, blah, blah. This manager's not for changing in his own mind.
No, but the problem...
Therefore, we're going to see what we've seen for these first half of the season in the second half. Now, the revisionists, right, are starting to say now, perhaps the statos and stuff are more accurate, but whatever, that last season the squad overperformed, which I've struggled with, right?
Please.
But what we do know last season is the manager had 2 purple patches of winning games. Of course, one was in May. Half our wins in 2020... April, sorry. Yeah. You're right, April. We won one in May, didn't we? But half our wins in the whole of the calendar year were in that 1 month.
No, I know.
Right?
I know.
If he has a month like that, we're safe. But if he doesn't have that month, and we've spoken on the sofa, was with those 2 purple patches when we were in Florida, and Toffee TV went on holiday to help Everton win games, the one at the back end of 23.
Always doing our bit.
Yeah. The one at the back end of 23 and then the one towards the end of the season. If they were the 2 outliers and what we actually saw in between is the truth.
Then we're in trouble.
And I think when we're watching this and you say it's a results game, we're actually believing they were the outliers. Not this shit performance in between. Sorry. French language stuff, not the stuff in between, but the 2 outliers of actually winning games. They were the atypical, if the statos are to believe, because they can look at XGs and or whatever. Therefore, we've had a whole season last season to see that group of players with this manager, that's what they do.
We've also brought 6 players in.
Well, that's where it was going. So then you change the group of players and you get the same outcomes. It's a classic, isn't it? Keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome, whatever. But what we're forecasting here is that we're going to win 2 or 3 games between now and the end of the season based on, Moneyball type stuff. This is what the stats say is going to happen.
Well, we're on.
And you can look at. Sorry, mate.
Go on.
Shut up a sec. But you can talk about the calendar wins in 2024, how few they were. You then look at who they are, who we beat. 2 of them are currently in the Championship, and one's definitely going back there, right? So we can't beat anyone allegedly with historical insight, unless it's a miracle. Sort of, my God, we beat Liverpool type of thing, or it's someone in the mire with us, right? And that's ridiculous because we've refreshed the squad with players. We lost, you talked about last January, Gordon going and Arna going. But other than that,
Gordon went 18 months.
That's what I mean.
Or 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
But the 2 of them have gone. But the end of last season to now, he's got a stronger squad, hasn't he?
Got more options.
People are reinventing. His best player was Salford. No, he never played him.
He wanted them gone.
Yeah, he wanted him gone. So we have got a lot of very good control of narrative by the manager and very piss poor control of narrative by the football club. Right? You can see Mope having a free hit whenever he feels like it and stuff like that. But it requires decisions to be made one way or the other.
But I think, for me,
otherwise we're just going to meander in a painful journey to the end of the season.
If we keep doing it, people who say leave it till the summer, well, there's still more than half a season to go. So that to me, I can't understand that mindset, because it isn't all going to flip. It's not Hogwarts, the new stadium.
No.
It's not, though, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not. We're not all of a sudden going to be, if we just leave it till the summer, because then there's a huge amount to do. But regardless of that, the manager's going to have to do something. He's going to have to change something, because what he's doing doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've won 8 games in over a year. That's absolutely terrifying in over a year. So whether you're on his side or you're not on it, and we get so many comments that aren't on his side, something's got to change because it's not working. It ain't working. His results haven't been good enough. If just, there's a stat today, his last 100 games as a Premier League manager, 75 he's failed to win. That's terrifying.
His win ratio's 25%.
1 in 4. That's not good enough for Everton Football Club, and people have convinced themselves that they have. But back onto the game.
Averages.
Back onto the game now. I mean,
sorry there, because it is the final.
Less than a goal a game, which is terrifying, and less than a point a game, which is terrifying at halfway through the season. We're in this game, we know what their threat is, and yet the first goal, I mean, I thought it was a brilliantly taken goal. But
the finish, you mean?
It's so easy. I'm going to have a look at the stills now.
Yeah, the finish was good.
James gets them up. And here we are, we've got Gibbs White in his half, so he's there number 10, who's dropped right in. And I've got Tarkowski circled, and you can just see the leg on the bottom of that image, which is Chris Wood. So Tarkowski, straight away, the wrong side of the ball, which I don't understand, because Chris Wood's never out sprinting you, standing next to you. But he isn't, is he?
No.
But he's the wrong side. So we've got Wood about to head it. Tarky's made no ground up on him at all. Branthwaite's got a langer, but Branthwaite's on a 2-for-1. Carrying on for us, Jay. He heads it into a langer and then just carries his run. Does nothing spectacular. Carries his run. The ball sits. Pickford is on the edge of his 6-yard box. And Chris Wood, supremely confident, just lifts the ball over Jordan's head. And it's a brilliant finish.
It
really is. But
play
one ball, one straight ball caught us out. And it's like, now the manager's saying that he's not happy with that. No problem, Sean, you're absolutely right. But your chief on the pitch is at fault there, because Chris Wood, why didn't he go? Tarky, if Eminett's wrestling him before the game, right? James, dead easy this. You train with this fella every day for about 4 years, right? You're man for man on him.
Yeah,
you're man for man on him, because he's not going to run you. He just plays in a 10-yard space, Chris Wood, apart from a breakaway in the first half where he sprints a pack, put a tackle in, fair play to him. Just go man for man. If he drags you out, follow him, because no one else is filling the gap in. Your fullbacks can tuck in. Everton play so deep at times.
Will cover it. Yeah.
We'd never be caught anyway. But why is he the wrong side? I mean, that's where the problem.
Well, he was the wrong side for the City goal as well. He didn't see. He didn't see the run either, and I don't know. I thought Tarky was his attitude, the booking, I thought was shocking. Again,
there.
Tried to be the hard man again. Goes in. He only has to be a slightly bit late, and he's a red card away again. And it's a great finish. Don't get me wrong. I think Pickford sort of comes for the Elanga one and doesn't quite. Fair people say, was he too far off his line? But when you look at the still there, he's on the 6-yard box, and if you're shooting from there, you're shutting down the angles, aren't you? But I don't think he's quite set.
No, he's not set, because he was on his way back.
Yeah, so I think that's what's caught him, is that he's not set. But it's a great finish. You've got to give him that. Chris Wood, I like Chris Wood. I've always liked Chris Wood. I think he's very much in Everton striker. As I said, City should buy him just to see how good it is. But Tarky just gets run, and you shouldn't be getting. And again, that's to me is like knowing what the game you're playing in. Like Tarky should be, first instinct should be, if we were playing Chelsea or we're playing Man City or we're playing Arsenal, Tarky drops 10 yards there. He goes, you can have the ball there. You're Chris Wood. You can have the ball 30 yards out from goal. See what you can do. But he doesn't. He goes the other way. And I think that's again the thing of like, who are we playing here? Why aren't you just stopping off 10 yards and going, go on then, see if you can beat us? We're going to play deep in a low block, and you're not going to get past this.
The problem with the low block for Everton is it's never going to work, because we haven't got an outball. It's never ever going to work. Sitting, we can't. My real gripe with it is we play for 0-0 and hope we score a corner. Well, our special teams player isn't in the squad. He's injured. So the corners are out the window, because it's hit and hope now. Because
no one even wants to take corners.
No one even knew he was taking the first corner yesterday. Right? So that's what we're playing for, 0-0, a free kick or a corner. So if you're doing that, then you've got to sit anyway. But to set up like that, why haven't we bought pace?
Listen,
it's just crazy.
You said it before, though.
You've been asking that too often.
To be fair, like
too many years.
You said it before. Dyche might have told them to sit back there, and that's when he's saying they didn't listen to me. That's what he might be referring to, of like, no, give these some respect. If the ball is there, drop 10 to your own, to your edge of your box. And Taki's the captain, so if anyone should be listening,
at least the chief, isn't he?
You know, if anyone should be listening,
listen, mate, 10 years in the Premier League, whatever, Tarkowski, right? Good centre back, good pairing with Branthwaite. He's almost touch close with Wood. Goes to sleep, like you said, wrong side, makes pretty much zero effort to get back. I mean, you can't see it in the stills, can you?
He's just jogging back.
And he wasn't the only one doing jogging. Yeah. Mikolenko did some jogging
that's
as
why
well.
He plays for us.
You know, well, that's an easy throwaway line.
No, but it is. Though,
he's a professional footballer.
No, I agree with you.
Who's been playing at the top level for a long time.
He's a good
So
defender,
we have to ask ourselves, why is a guy with that, if you like, professionalism, not putting the effort in there? Why is he in the wrong side in the first place?
Injured, tired, anything?
Well, that's what I think. You know, tired it might be, but injury, carrying it. I'm not going to get there anyway. Whatever, right? But the other thing which we need an ex-player on the couch proper, you know, to ask. But it's one thing players doing what the manager says, even when they think it's wrong and all that sort of stuff. But the thought that the manager says they all did the opposite, what I don't get, just don't get at all. But the other thing I'd like to know is if they get, not overcoached sounds the wrong way to describe it, but if they get over-instructed, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the other. Tarkowski, just playing on his experience and his ability, Wood doesn't score. So why is he doing it? Why is he doing it? Why can't Decore pass a ball? You know, we know he's got, you know, bloody Bambi legs and stuff like that, but passing balls short and, you know, is that lack of confidence in the guy you're playing it to and whatever. But you've got a whole group of players there who, for whatever reason, are subpar, aren't they? They're not playing. Yeah, as individuals, I mean, they're not, excluding the keeper, of course, and one or two outfield players, but they're not performing to the standard you would expect them to be able to. And then within a system, it seems like there isn't total clarity about it, about what it is. Because I was amused when you said they weren't doing what the manager told them, that they were told to sit off and they weren't. I thought they looked to some occasions trying to do the opposite, so maybe that's the problem. They were caught between two stools of, do I stay or do I go? And that's a clash. But
that to me so basic though, because
yeah, of course it is.
That's so basic. If Taki just drops off, Wood's like,
but he should do that naturally.
What's Wood gonna do? Like what's he gonna do?
Beating you, is he? And
if he wins the header, then you go into a low block and you deal with it like we do. Like if we played, and that's what I'm saying, if we're playing Arsenal, we're playing Chelsea, we would naturally do that because if we were playing.
And we've just been doing it successfully.
We've just done it for the last 3 games. So why not? Again, why are you approaching this game any different then? I don't. And if that's the players' mentality of going, this is Forest, then it's on them. I get that.
And I agree.
I get
that's what they've done.
I just don't. That goal's terrible.
I think the problem.
It's actually disguised. Sorry, the goal's actually disguised by being such a good finish.
No, but it's
everyone will pour over it and go, wow, what a goal. But from our point of view, I'm looking at going, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
You'd accept that if we were like flying forward and playing this attacking football. You go, there's gaps, of course there is, but we don't do that. So it's almost doubly worse because the way we play was not over attacking because we don't. We just bang it long and hope that something comes of it. Everything is hope. That's my issue with it. Everything, you look at it and you just think they're hoping something will happen here. There's no conviction in what they're doing. There's no good bits of play. There's no overlapping. There's no intricate passing around it. And people will laugh and go, these players can't do. They're elite footballers, whether you like it or not. They're playing at the very top of the tree. These are not players that this manager's been given 2 years ago, without a penny to bring anyone extra in, and he's just going, what else do you want me to do? We've changed it up, we've brought new players in.
All of which he will have had to agree to.
Of course he agreed to everything, so it's all there. The whole football club, not all on Sean Dyche, this is the recruitment team as well. These players have been brought in, can play a different way, but we don't do that, and that's why the goal is...
That's not on the recruitment team, is it?
And I have what's on all of them, because the Forest had no problem recruiting pace. It's collective. Alanga was 15 million and Hudson-Odoi was 5.
It's just, this group should be performing better.
No, and this was my
Right.
point.
It's collective responsibility.
Making the group better as the recruitment team. Once you've got the group and the window's closed, it's on the coaching.
And I get
even Spellwell can't do anything when
I've got
the window's
sympathy for
closed.
the manager with Tarkovsky there, because that's just rank bad defending.
Oh, I totally agree.
Absolutely shocking, but then he should be grabbing him. If you didn't think he's up for it, take him off.
Well, is that a symptom
He had
of
two
something
centre-backs sat on the bench.
Is that a symptom of something else, what we're seeing in Tarkovsky?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had the only two moments we really had was NGI, like I said before, blasting it over when he should have been hitting the target.
He goes past players with such ease.
That's it. It's the last bit. He just, I don't know.
Maybe he's tired because he's already run 30 yards.
Maybe.
He likes doing that.
No, I know. What I mean is he picks the ball up in the wrong place. I've been saying it for...
No, I agree.
And then Breuer had one where he skipped past the couple with the left foot and fired it wide, and that was really it. Because the set plays were gone. We had Nottingham, we had that Breuer header that landed on top of the net, and we had a couple of bits off corners that didn't really amount to anything. When in at half time, you obviously took Jack Harrison off, who struggled in the first.
He was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, very much so.
And ironically, he still wasn't the worst player on the pitch, because they combined for the second goal. A pair of them had a little playoff who could turn in the worst performance on the day.
Pick who you want to blame. The reality is it's both of them.
But we come out for the second half, so put Lindstrom on, and again, and a centre midfield player playing on the wing.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
And we had a little bit more of a go, but not much, because nothing really changed. We done things a little fraction quicker. That the crowd tried to get behind them and all that, but it was still right areas, wrong decision making. It can't always be. You can't always just do things off the cuff playing football. There has to be preordained tactics that people make runs for you, that you've done time and time again.
Totally right.
We just don't do it. Mikalenko, every now and again, went beyond their fullback, and the odd occasion he got the ball, he I don't know what boots he had on yesterday, but he looked like he couldn't kick a ball. Put one about 500 foot in the air, which was just crazy. But it's still hitting hope, and that meant that you left with what we got, which was them on the counter-attack, which was perfect for what they wanted to do. And they go and get the second goal. Abdoulaye Doucouré, I mean, we're going to have a look at it, but the pass to Mikalenko is absolutely diabolical. And then Mikalenko's decision to almost fall on his heels and not just go for the lad was pathetic. He sold you short.
There's a foul there, didn't there?
He sold you short. Just go and make a foul.
Yeah.
Go and make a foul, or go and at least put him under pressure. And he doesn't. He rocks back on his heels. Does that? Should I? Shouldn't I? And by the time Elanga picks it up, he's in no man's land. He's in no man's land. Let's have a look at the stills.
Just play around him there.
For the goal. So here we go. We've got so you've got the Doucouré here on the ball. There's Mikalenko circled and Elanga circled. Elanga's got a bit of ground to make up. Doucouré, it's a terrible ball, but Miko's got to come towards the ball.
Yeah, and he'll get it if he does.
He takes a step back, and then Elanga's on it, and then we're in trouble here. Although when you look at that, it's still 4v3 there. Got Chris Wood circled. It comes to Wood. Morgan Gibbs-White's making the run in. Doucouré nowhere near him at the moment, even though we should have seen him. Now he's trying to get towards him. Wood plays the ball, to good ball, back in. Gibbs-White here, and is he going to hit it first time? No, he does a little chop, sends Doucouré the chippy, and then just gets it onto that left foot of his and drives it past Jordan Pickford central, and nothing Pickford could do there. And it ends up in the back of the net. And from Forest's perspective, really well taken goal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, really well taken goal. From our perspective, poor, really poor. You know, them two combined. And Doucouré, possibly more a fault than Mikalenko, but Mikalenko, I think, has got to, for me, he's got to follow his instinct, which is go to the ball. Stepping back, I just don't understand the step back.
It's got to be balance based, doesn't it?
You've got to go, and even if you shove him over, you're not going to get booked for shoving him over.
No.
You're going to get booked for putting a late tackle and grabbing him.
Yeah.
Just shoving him, you're not going to get booked for. And it ends up in the net, and then you look at it and go, oh, well. But the reality is, they had two more. Pickford spills one and then makes two good saves from it. And then they have Anthony Elanga for 3-0 and he gets. So it could have ended up 3 or 4-0. Really, and you look and go, we knew what these were going to do. We knew what their strengths were, and yet we've still played into it. And then when it went 2-0, you're right, John, his sub should have been immediate. There should have been a response immediately. We should have tried to do something different. And we don't. We just do the same thing.
Should have been subs at 1-0.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do anything.
That's right.
Our first shot on target was, I think, the 83rd minute, and our first major save was in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
So the sub should have been before 1-0, but once he's got options.
He had 3 strikers on the bench yesterday.
Fella for me just hasn't got a clue. He just hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know how to change games. He doesn't know how to pick a side. He doesn't know how to set a side up. I don't know what they're waiting for other than just to get Christmas over and done with.
Do you think, like,
I just don't get it.
Do you think people who sort of defend them, do you think they're just worried?
They're terrified. People are terrified that if you remove this man, that Everton will all go crumbling down. But surely we've got enough good players defensively that the back should be fine. But I just can't see this thing of, like, how people can't see games like this and go, we could attack a little bit more without it really hurting us. Both goals are defensive mistakes.
True.
They're both defensive mistakes. They come from stupid mistakes by our players in the wrong end of the pitch because we don't attack enough.
I
don't get it.
If you look at it now, the way it is, and you think, okay, well, 15 goals in 18 games, it's outrageously bad, right? Do you believe that if Everton went for it a bit more, that them goals would increase? Or is it a case of, and I don't believe this, by the way, but you see this argument sometimes, these players are that bad that no one could score goals in this team because these players just aren't good enough?
That's rubbish. For me, that's rubbish. Because these players have scored before. Yeah. It's a simple waterfall, isn't it? You take more shots, get more shots on target, you score more goals. To do that, you have to actually be in the last third, not camped out on the edge of your own penalty box. And I think you can see it doesn't matter how great a finisher you are. Look at Haaland in recent times. When he knows he's the guy who misses most chances in the whole of the Premier League, but scores most goals as well. Yeah. But when the chances are less, his misses are more dangerous, or they make a bigger impact. If he gets 2 chances in a game and he only scores 1 goal in every 5 chances are he's not going to score. And that turns into can't even score a penalty. You know what I mean? Yeah. So confidence is a big thing, and I think Ped nailed it right at the very beginning. You've got a team here playing a very similar style with perhaps at best players who are comparable to ours and are getting far better outcomes. So there's got to be coaching issues, communication issues, understanding of roles and responsibility issues, blah, blah, blah. And we see the symptoms on the pitch. We see players jogging when they should be running. We see a perception that a player, despite having loads of unforced errors, Decore I'm thinking about, should always be in the team. We've got another player, because of his work ethic, is always in the team, but in reality, the most turnovers in the Premier League must come from Jack Harrison. It's clear as day to 40,000 experts in the stadium that there's issues here, but the 3 that matter, or the 1 that matters, don't see them the way we see it, right? Therefore, I have to conclude that if the one in the tech box was a different person, we'd get a different outcome. And you say if there's a load of people who are so taken in by the Dyche is doing a great job narrative that they would be worried if it was someone other than Dyche, well, that's their opinion. I have to be on a opinion that is, I'll caricature it, in other words, make it extreme. Pretty much any experienced manager would be getting better outcomes.
I look at someone like Gibbs White yesterday,
because I just can't see it possibly being worse than this, right?
I look at someone like Gibbs White yesterday, who
he turned us down as well.
But he's a player that you look at him and
you
look at someone like him and Njai, right? There's I think he's got a bit more general street smartness about him as a footballer. But if you give Njai that kind of freedom, I was just looking at the heat maps there, Njai's just so much red just inside their half on the left hand side of where he picks the ball. I've been saying it for weeks, but Gibbs White's got more freedom. You look at this and he's a little bit more all over the pitch, a little bit. There's no real hot spots, so therefore he's going round, he's picking it up. But you can't tell me that he's a much better player than Njai, because we've seen Njai the way he skips past people. I don't know, maybe the end product, whatever, but they've put him next to the striker and said that's where you play. We've put Njai on the halfway line. It doesn't make any
Their
sense.
manager trusts in the players around.
Well, that's it.
Gibbs White to do their job. Anderson, for example, had a good
I
game,
don't
didn't
think
he?
what he trusts.
Well, Mangala could do that for us if he wanted to give him a rein to.
He didn't even have
But that to me is not the manager necessarily trusting players. That's the manager going.
The players got
This is how we're going to get the most. This is how we're going to score goals. Our manager's MO is don't concede goals. So the minute we concede goals, fuck
the plans out.
The plans out the window. And I just can't understand how all of the evidence is that we've got a bad manager. All of the evidence suggests that everything.
No, it's not.
To my eyes, it is.
The caveat
in your opinion,
it's just not working anymore, and therefore that's okay as well. That's okay. Managers have times at clubs and it just stops working. It happens with probably most of them, and at the end of that you change it. Now that might be, some managers might have 6 games, some managers might have 6 years, but there's a time where it doesn't work anymore. He had a great spell at Burnley and in the end it didn't work. They changed him because it wasn't working, and maybe that's just happening here for whatever reason. It might not be him, it might be these players have stopped responding, whatever, but something needs to change. He needs to change if he's staying. And we have got to try to score goals, because we cannot play every game in looking for nil.
But the major issue for me is a game like that, comes over the Christmas spell. People have come a long way to go. The game might be the only game they get to, because it's like the Boxing Day game, isn't it? People are walking out the game with 10 minutes to go. People are not going the game.
Yes,
people are fed up of going the game. People are saying, "I'm not going to do away games.
Me weren't even there.
I'm not going to go to I'm not going to go to the longer away games." People are starting to go. It all has an effect. It all has an effect. We're going into it. My missus said that on the way home. She just said, "Sean Dyche is ruining the last season at Goodison." They were their words. That's not.
I was jealous of Forest fans yesterday. They were there. They was obviously, I can see them.
They're living a dream at the moment.
No, forget about even if the second, whatever. But they're all together. They like the manager. They like the way the team's playing, and they just had a good time. And we're sat there quiet, just like, this is terrible. It's forget even who it is or what. It was just the feeling at the moment. It's like soulless at Goodison. It's like literally.
But we're not in it together.
No.
And that's a really dangerous place to be. That we're not in it together. We're not buying into it. You go on social media, or even if you spoke to someone in a pub or whatever. We're all at each other's throats because which is the wrong. You just got it right there. The Forest fans are together. They're in it. You can see the players. They're in it together. Half the time, I'm seeing Tarkowski and Pickford having fights with each other. Whether it's just an on-pitch thing. There's people aren't happy. He said in the last couple of weeks, there's a general feeling now we're getting. No, but there's not a general feeling. Just because we've been bought, we're all like skipping in to work.
Nothing's changed yet.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here going, the Freakin should have had them sacked within a week. It's Christmas. They had the Roma. No, but they couldn't have though. The Roma thing has thrown a big, massive. Like a blanket onto it.
Caution filter.
Ranieri looks like now he's maybe getting a grip of it. And ironically enough, last night they drew with someone and they decided to sack their manager, which is. But they've got to get hold of this quite quickly and go, this is what we're going to do, or this is actually not what we're going to do. We're going to leave him in place to the end of the season. If that quietens people down, it wouldn't quiet me down, but it might quiet some people down.
Listen, you have to. I do anyway. I have to believe that the executive chair, if he spent any time alone with the director of football, he's asked, "What do you need?" We know there's this transfer window thing, and what about the manager? You don't need to be a dyed-in-the-wool soccer person to ask those simple questions, do you? Right? And he must have had an answer. Right? He must have had an answer. And if Thelwell's answer has been, we'll be fine to the end of the season, then we can decide, then...
That's who we are.
Either move Thelwell on if you're the owner because you don't believe it, or you go with your expert view.
I think
But if they dither and we lose 2 or 3 games, and we've done in previous seasons, you get to mid-late January and they go, oh my goodness, let's sack the manager. Then the next guy walks into the same issue Sean Dyche walked into. It's too late. He has to do the best he can to the end of the season.
We've won 3 games in half a season.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Terrifying. It doesn't matter who your manager is. That's just absolutely criminal.
My big problem with what you've just said there, John, is I think personally they're all sitting in their own lifeboats. and if they're asking him, he thinks they're asking him about his job, and that's I've got no confidence that Kevin Felwell has the ability to tell a new owner that the manager's not good enough.
Listen, no, I agree with that. And I think
I just don't think he will.
Off camera, was it? As we talked about it, if they're supposed to think Thelwell's okay, give him his goddamn new contract. As soon as
give him the security.
Yeah, give him the security. As soon as he says yes, say now what we're going to do about the manager. Kev, if you say keep him, great, it's on you. If you say get rid, we'll go and get you a better guy. Show me your list.
But never mind the director of football. You've got a CEO there who's been there for well over a year in place.
Still got interim in front of his name.
But surely he's like the first person. But you would.
It's a sporting decision.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is though, you've got a
CEO position.
But that's what I'm saying though. You've got a CEO who's been there for 18 months, and I bet you, would they even ask him?
But they can't get one, otherwise they'd have had them. People have turned them down.
It's a sporting decision, though, and we have got the director of football.
Yeah, listen, anyway, back to the game, just to finish off. One player I thought did have a good game for Everton, ironically, was former Nottingham Forest midfielder Oral Mangala. Let's have a look at his stats.
He did.
From the game. Passing accuracy, 93%. Ball recoveries, 3 touches, 72. Completed 3 out of 4 of his dribbles. And won 3 out of 5 of his ground seals, and there's his heat map. He was everywhere. I thought he had a really good game for Everton yesterday. I thought Garner was all right as well, and he ironically got taken off and he left the Corey on, who didn't have one of his better days at the light. But Mangala had decent game for us in midfield.
I'll be honest, I thought all three were. I know. See, I don't even blame Decore for the second goal. I blame Mikalenko completely. You're the player.
The pass is under hit though.
I didn't think it was. I just think Mikalenko
was. It was.
No, I disagree. I just thought Mikalenko was half asleep.
2-1.
That's fine. I just thought he was half asleep.
The audience can have their.
I just thought he was half asleep. I thought all three of them. I thought they were in a line. They all have to do slightly different jobs. No surprise Garner went off at all. To be honest, if you're looking for a goal, you're not going to leave Garner on there.
Looking for a goal?
What?
Were we looking for a goal?
Yeah, we were looking for a goal. We brought an attacker.
Down at the time,
we brought an attacker on.
If you want to tell the team,
I just thought the three of them. I think if you've got the three of them, that's fine. But that gives you an opportunity to have 3 attackers on, and we don't. So
I thought Mangala was good.
No, I thought he was good. I'm saying I just thought all.
And I think his stats.
Just thought they all did
the best as well.
They all did the job.
He was the best as well. Let's have a look at the overall stats from the game. Anyway, Everton 0, Forest 2. 13 shots from Everton, 11 for Forest. 7 on target for Forest, 2 for Everton. XG of 0.89 for the Toffees, 1.48 for Forest, and Everton had 64% of the ball, which is
too high.
Way too high for what we'd actually do. So Forest deserved the win. So fair play to them. They're having a great season. Well done to them. Dial sign on shouts though. They're back in the 80s. For a club that's trying to move.
No, they're a horrible fan base. They're a horrible. No. When they come to Goodison, they're horrible. They're horrible. For a gang of scabs, they're a horrible fan base, and that has to be said. Any fan, you can't sit there with a face when 3,000 people are singing "Feed the Scousers." Right. So that has to be said. We had to say it last year to them, just because we know one, and he seems to be the only one who's sound. If you have to tell a fan base 2 years in a row to knock, when you live in the poorest country, the biggest shithole in this country, if you have to tell fans that, no, it is. It's it's the biggest deprived city in this country.
Nottingham is.
Yeah. If you have to tell people not to sing those songs 2 years in a row,
that song,
then you're a pathetic fan base.
You should be ashamed of
you should be ashamed of yourself.
But I thought away from that terrible song.
Oh yeah, away from that, they were really, really nice.
No, they didn't say they were nice. I thought they were really good. They supported.
They were
the
together.
Well.
Yeah. So why didn't you? They were all together. All of them were singing that song.
That really is a terrible song.
No, they're pathetic. I'm not
so outdated.
I'm not going to cozy up to them because I know one sound one.
They started the season, presumably, notwithstanding the manager has a different mindset, expecting the same challenges as we expected. We should be mid-table. Let's see how it goes. They're sitting second in the Premier League.
Flying, absolutely flying.
Let them enjoy it.
Let them enjoy it. But they clearly
therefore don't do that.
But they clearly aren't enjoying it, are they, if they have to sing songs like that?
Everton have won 3 and they've won 11.
Yeah.
So fair play to them. More points than they got all of last season.
Already.
There you go.
They haven't even got the only Hooters in the country anymore. They've got nothing. But well done, Notts Forest.
Ooh.
That's below the belt.
That's
below the belt. Right, we're going. Like, subscribe. We'll be on Premier, carrying on Premier, going through your comments next. If you want to become a Premier member, the link's in the description. Happy New Year to all of our viewers. Have a great, let's hope 2025 is better than what 2024 has been for Everton Football Club. But the last sort of getting new owners and getting a new stadium, that bit was all right last week, but the on the pitch has been absolutely woeful and will go down. And in fact, it has. It's the least wins in a calendar year. It's grim. It's grim. It's joined 2 other years, which was 1888 when we played 16 games and 19.
Didn't we only win
something
8 in 98 under Walter Smith as well?
It's equalled thingy, but it's the third.
The very first ever Football League season.
It's,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 1888.
And no one knows.
Yeah. And we drew the first game at home to who?
In 1946.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was in
1946.
92, wasn't it?
We had Leicester.
First
Only
game
2 occasions we've won less than this. So
yeah.
let's hope 2025 is much better. See you later.